Okay, I might have all of y'all sign the
Hang on
sign in
just a
sheet too.
Yeah. Are we on? Want to call this public hearing to order on this February 17th at 6:01 PM. Myself, Deborah Atkins, Tommy Wilson, and Sammy Childers are all in attendance. Let's stand and say pledge of allegiance before the public hearing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, are you okay if I stay seated for this?
Yes.
This is all gonna sound really familiar because it's the same exact stuff that we talked about at the last one. As you know, we previously applied for the last round of planning grant. We did not receive it. We got feedback from Okra on how to improve the application, and you are required to hold another public hearing prior to application, which the applications are due March 1st. So, okay, so I'm Chelsea Crump. I'm a charitable financial specialist with River Hills EDD and RBC. If you haven't signed in on the sign-in sheet or filled out a community survey, feel free to do so. They're in the back of the room. The town of Palmyra intends to apply for federal funds through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. And that is to develop a utility plan that will cover water, wastewater, and stormwater. This is going to be the first of 2 required public hearings for the project, and this allows for public comments regarding the town's project and the application and process. And if the grant's awarded, a second public hearing has to take place to allow for public comments on the plan before it's finalized. So once it's drafted, we'll have another public hearing, the public, if they have any questions or comments, and then it'll be finalized and approved. The total project cost is $97,000, and the town is applying for a total of $79,000 in community development block grant funds from Okra. An 8% match of the total project cost is required. The town has agreed to commit $18,000 in local match funds, which is 18.5% of the total project cost. You guys recently received a grant from the Harrison County Community Foundation to cover the match. We submitted a letter to ask for an extension on that grant because it was just for a year, and explained that you didn't receive the funding, but you were reapplying, and they approved that extension. So we should be good to go there. The town intends to apply by submitting an online application on or before March 1st, 2026 in Okra's 2026 Cycle 1 Planning Grant Program. So in the past, Okra had 4 quarters for planning grants. They have moved to a 3 cycle for the year. So there's 3 planning grant cycles this year. And like I said, this application will be due March 1st. And then most likely we would hear if you're awarded by mid to late April. To be eligible to apply for the grant, the town has to meet one of 3 national objectives. And according to an income survey, 55% of your utility beneficiaries are low to moderate income. So therefore, the town meets the benefit to low moderate income objective on an area basis. Do you remember the income survey? That was like so long ago.
Yes.
So they're good for 5 years, so we're still in a good place, but I remember y'all had to do a lot of those.
Yeah.
The federal funding is going to be used to hire a professional firm to work with the town and community to develop the utility plan. And the plan would cover existing water, wastewater, and stormwater facilities, need for the project, alternatives considered, sustainability considerations, detailed timetables, and more. Procurement for the firm to complete the plan has actually already taken place as required by Okra. So the town sought statements of qualifications from interested firms and utilized a quality-based scoring system. And the selected firm was HWC Engineering. A contract will be awarded contingent upon a grant award and release of funds by Okra. So if you guys receive the grant award and then you get the release of funds letter, then you can go ahead and sign a contract with HWC and then start the process. Just a reminder, this is a very competitive grant process. Grant awards should be announced by mid to late April. The town applied for this grant last round, but was not awarded. Any questions or comments about the project or the grant process? Okay. Now I'll introduce Zach with HWC Engineering. If you want to just discuss really quick the plan development process, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so with the last round of this, we had kind of already made some initial designs and investigations, partially through the on-call, but partially in preparation for this. So we've continued that minimally, getting maps together. We just recently got the water model. So a lot of information that will help us kick that off when we do, if and when we do get awarded this grant. But we will just, as previously stated, we'll investigate your water, wastewater, and stormwater systems in further detail, understanding your concerns. We can do public outreach to get further information as needed to really fine tune the areas of most concern, come up with suggested improvement projects, associated costs with those, and then we can determine what next steps at that point. But that'd be a very thorough list of what you have, what you might need, and then what we could go after to try to help us fund those projects in sequence of priority.
Perfect. Any questions about the actual planning process? I'm gonna write this down really quick. Thank you, appreciate it. Great, does anyone here have any issues with their water, wastewater, or stormwater utilities that they would like to share?
What about the gallon a day she drinks and just pees out in the yard? Paid for that?
My dog drinks a ton too. I'm like, really? Can we slow
I
it
mean,
down?
I'm not the only person in this town that complains about their dog going out and peeing and being charged sewage fees. Y'all think it's funny, I don't think it's funny at all.
No, I was just looking, they were looking at it.
All right, well, I guess, thank you for coming, everyone, and this public hearing can be adjourned.
All right, so we'll adjourn the public hearing at 6:08 PM. So tell me